Road Gang Radio. We've talked about making a living. Now let's get a life. It's Jimmy Mac and Lindsay Lawler with the best stories, the ultimate road trip, the concert of a lifetime, and a home when you're not at home. The wheels have come off, but we're still rolling. Hey.
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 By the way, this is a Thursday show of Thanksgiving. And Lindsay's going to give some thanks for some things that she really loves and some people she really loves in just a moment. But what time and what kind of giving thanks differs as to the date. If, by the way, you're listening today, November 20th, then it's 9 in the center and 10 in the east. But if it's November 27th, then it's 7 in the central, and Lindsay and I are enjoying Macy balloons hovering over the streets of Manhattan. Either way, you are a member of the gang.
I have a mimosa in my hand. What do you have in your hand?
Of course, iced coffee. But what's really important is I got pastries from Celtica, which is the upscale bakery by my parents' home. They have a chocolate almond croissant, Lindsay. Either way, whether you're having that mimosa, whether you're having that coffee with that chocolate croissant, or both. My mom, by the way.
I have coffee in the left hand, mimosa in the right.
My mom, by the way, is a both. My mom is an absolute both. My mom loves a mimosa. You know, my mom likes vodka too, but only if it's absolute and only one at dinner.
Mom's my girl. Yeah, I'm all the things you just said. She and I are, KK and I are spirit animals.
I got to tell you, if you ever see my mom dressed out on the town for the evening, you'd be like, oh my God, that's maybe where I'm going to end up, and you're not going to feel bad about it at all.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Either way, whether it's the 27th or the 20th, you are a member of the gang at Road Gang Radio on the Radio Nemo platform, the greatest make a living and get a life transpose show in the known universe. And most importantly, over there on the ones and twos, as you like to say, is Phone Master Thanksgiving Dre. Jimmy Mac Cornucopia is the best holiday setting. And of course, just arriving, Lindsay, this town needs a little Lawler and order. Good morning to you.
Just a little, though. Not too much.
That's why I said little. I said
Yeah.
I even shortened little to lil when I wrote that down.
Yeah, little. Just a little bit. Not too much. I'm always so thankful around Thanksgiving time. Obviously, besides the obvious, we're all grateful around here. But, Jim, I'll talk about this later because we're going to bring on Meg and Kate here in just a bit and dive into some real thankfulness. But when my daughter is adopted. My daughter Frey is adopted. She's 7 this week, today or a couple days ago, depending on when you're hearing this. And she, the year we adopted her, which was in 2018, we found out that she was in labor coming into the world on a Tuesday. She came home with us on a Thursday, and that Thursday was Thanksgiving Day of 2018.
Wow.
So Thanksgiving hits very differently for us because it's the day I became a mom.
Wow. And by the way, and I can tell you this right now, and she will actually, some people have Christmas birthdays. That sucks. Some people have July the 4th birthdays. That sucks. Halloween, not so good. Although I know a few people that kind of pull that off kind of nice and neat. But a Thanksgiving
New Year's Eve is tough too.
New Year's Eve is brutal.
I mean, people are already partying, so everyone's gonna be like, "Sure, we'll go out for your birthday," but it's not about you.
It's brutal. The only way out of the New Year's Eve one is if you can get a sit-down dinner at some like really fun hip restaurant where you get the idea. It's still tough. It's a tough navigation system. Thanksgiving birthdays, I'm letting you know right now, she will come to love them. Because people still celebrate your birthday, and you're guaranteed that everybody who actually might buy you presents for quite some time is going to be available at a particular home at a particular time. And people will say, hey, it's Freya's birthday today. We might as well pick her up something. We'll give her a 10 spot. We'll give her a 10 spot.
I don't think, because your birthday's a little later, so you have fallen on Thanksgiving Day, I assume, before, right?
Yeah, every 7
Freya
years.
is the 20th, though. So, like, she
tough.
came home with us on the 22nd. Her birthday's November 20th. So, her birthday wasn't Thanksgiving that year.
Celebrated on Thanksgiving one time, just for giggles and
Well,
nips.
I mean, that is, I guess, the beauty that it does extend. I hate people. They're like, it's my birthday week. It's my birthday month. But I don't hate people that do that. I just
No, I hate
I
them.
just think you're annoying.
No, you're
That's
crazy.
nicer.
I'm mean. I hate them.
You're annoying.
You find them annoying. I
don't
hate
do
'em.
that, but I do want people to do it for me. I do want people to say it's your birthday month, and me be like, oh, it's not a big deal, but make it a big deal. So anyway, the cool thing is at least for this year in particular, because we are, we're going to go out to dinner with just my immediate family tonight for her birthday. And she wants to go to Chili's, by the way. And then
Chili's baby back ribs.
And then she's having a little birthday party Saturday, but then all my family's coming in town and we're going to go to Dollywood and it's Thanksgiving. So she really she's going to think all this is for her. And I'm going to let her think that. Because she should have a lot of pomp and circumstance. You know who should also have a lot of pomp and circumstance, Jimmy Mac?
Are we gonna make a really clever transition here to a?
I thought I just did it.
You did. You did.
Isn't that enough?
I think it's a terrific.
Bring on the pomp.
Bring on. I just had the thought. The moment you said "bring on the pomp," I had all this image of all these people in the street going, "We want the pomp. Bring
Gotta
on
have
the pomp."
Yeah.
So I called myself Jimmy Mack. Cornucopia is the best holiday setting, and Lindsay, this town needs a little Lawler in order. I have a name for our next guest, by the way, Andre. Lindsay. It is Megan Kate. That meal put me in a wrestling full Nelson.
I like it.
I like it very much, too.
I feel good about it.
By the way, regardless of what Thursday you were listening to, you were in a Thanksgiving pre-trip here. It is the 20th. Start thinking about all that it's going to take for that perfect turkey dinner. And, Lindsay, do you have an Uncle Lou? Anybody who is like Uncle Lou, who is emotionally too? Do you have
yes. I have a lot that are emotionally too.
Okay. Well, if it is the 27th and you're listening, take this show as a momentary respite to brace up for Uncle Lou emotionally too. And in the spirit of Megan Kate Nelson's favorite sci-fi time travel western, Back to the Future 3, we're hoping she can transport this transpo show to the past and give us a non-traditional vision of giving thanks. Would you care to give our guest Miss Megan's bona fides of how awesome she is, Lindsay?
Well, she's the most awesome person I know. What else do you need to know? You can head on over to MeganKateNelson.com. She's an author and enthusiast, by the way, of the American Western. She, by the way, we have her on every month to talk Western of the Month, but she has a new book coming out early of 2026, I believe, in the spring. And I am so excited about it. It's called The Westerners.
Bold.
Like, let's just call a spade, guys.
It's bold, dude. The
just
Westerners.
on the nose. We had a little something to do. I mean, I don't want to say we named it, but we kind of named it.
We kind of
did. We feel
Thanks,
like
thanks to Jimmy and Lindsay. Without them, this book title would not exist. Bold.
And what's cool about today, I mean, Megan Kate has written about Civil War, U.S. Western history, American culture for the New York Times, Washington Post, Smithsonian Magazine, the list goes on. And we were going to be talking about an episode today of a show, The Lowdown, we've been watching, which we talked about last month. We're going to pick it back up with that conversation in December because I want to think about how those characters are spending Christmas. I think that'll be a funny conversation. But I thought we would talk today and on Thanksgiving Day and just talk a little, just sort of riff here with Megan Kate, who about not what was gathering kind of like back in the West. And I lobbed that to her. And she said, actually, could we dive into the sacred buffalo, the indigenous people, the buffalo hunts they did, which obviously that was a part of their gathering. It was so spiritual and communal in these deeply ritualized events. And I was like, let's go. I'm so interested in that. So, and I think this kind of conversation, Megan, Kate, and Jim, helps people kind of get out of kind of smack you in the face and get out of wherever you are in your own place and think about what other people are doing or were doing around those days. And I think these kind of conversations bring us together. So please make welcome to the program our dearest Megan Kate Nelson. Good morning, my friend. We're thankful for you.
Oh, good morning. I'm thankful for you guys, too. You're amazing. I love you.
I love you.
What a nice thing to say. Tell me more about my eyes. Megan, so last night, Dre and I did this thing, and we ended up having bison steaks. I won't get into any more than that. They were terrific, by the way. Lindsay, they're terrific.
Yeah,
I mean, back me up right now. But let's kind of talk about, you had brought up this topic you wanted to talk about, and I immediately, same as Lindsay, was like, please do this. Please kind of talk about, the idea of not just giving thanks at this time of year, but the way other American traditions, indigenous American traditions, or people who got here earlier, if you subscribe to that kind of stuff, how they celebrated their moments of Thanksgiving, their moments of harvest, their moments of, bringing the tribe, the community together to kind of, keep their culture alive through, celebration and through the exercise of how they maintain their culture.
Oh, yeah. I love this so much because I think it's a good reminder that people have always gathered to celebrate the community and to celebrate family, and to celebrate abundance. And that, I don't know, I just kind of like that across many different kinds of communities, there are these kinds of moments. It's not all, I think as a historian, it's easy for me to be like, it's all war and politics and, all of these things that are very, very serious, but people are having a lot of fun. And depending on kind of your culture in terms of, indigenous nations, those indigenous polities that were agricultural, that did plant and planted the kind of three sisters of corn and beans, and squash, that the harvest is in the fall, right? So like you would get together and everyone would harvest the crops, and then you'd dry them and you'd keep some for winter, and it was about celebrating that. It was about celebrating the earth and what it gives us. And it was about preparing for winter, which was usually a little less social and more sort of, because of the weather, kind of people were a little more sequestered to their family teepees or hogans. And then in the Great Plains, the great buffalo hunts were in September and October. So if you had a really successful hunt, this was a lot to celebrate, right? Because you used every part of the buffalo. So you used all of the meat elements, the bones were used to kind of boil down and make ash for paint and dyes and other kinds of things. And then, of course, the robes were hugely useful, not only for people, at home as blankets and everything to keep them warm during the winter, but also as trade items with other indigenous nations, and then ultimately with Europeans. So, a lot of indigenous peoples in the Great Plains kind of had their more collective celebrations in the summer. Like that's when bands would come together in these kind of large encampments, and they would have a summer camp and make a lot of political decisions. But it was also a lot of celebratory eating and a lot of games, a lot of competitions. I love
celebratory eating.
Celebratory eating. And, so there have always been these traditions in indigenous culture, and they, vary across region and time. But I like that this is something, we often talk about it as, this is just the Pilgrims, and the first Thanksgiving was, could be kind of a dark moment in many ways, but I like to think of it more as a shared experience, that, this is a common kind of human thing to come together and to enjoy the company of your family and your community.
Well, the community piece, I even want to dive a little deeper, because like I said at the top, I think this is a good reminder to people, not just to be like, what is this day about? But like, what is this whole tradition about? Not today. Yes, we're grateful because, we talk about gratitude every Thanksgiving, but indigenous communities literally built gratitude really into, and correct me if I'm wrong, but really into the structure of that hunt, and how it kind of establishes roles and leadership and preparation and even gratitude. So do you, have we lost that collective ritual? And more importantly, I guess, through people like you and telling these stories and your books coming out, like, is that the way that you personally, Megan, help us get back there?
Mm-hmm.
Not that we want to have to hunt to hunt and go back to some of the ways. I don't mean that, but the core values.
Yeah. I think that's the real, one of the major differences, right? Because one of the things that the gratitude that indigenous peoples are showing in these moments is toward nature, right? Because their relationship with nature is very different from ours. Many tribal peoples see nature as family, right? So they are kin to the buffalo. They are kin to the river. They are kin to the mountains. And all of the the sustenance that those elements of nature provide to them, they have very deep gratitude for, because they see it as, the sacrifice of family. And I think that's a major difference, right? And but I also think, like, at our Thanksgiving tables now, I mean, I think people, and I know this is true for us, like, we cook a lot at home, but Thanksgiving is different, right? Like, it is a collective, massive feast where you make things you never usually make and try new recipes. And
add stress on yourself with your mother-in-law there.
Exactly. But it's, when people are kind of being thankful around the table, it's for that effort, right? It's for that work and that, hopefully, and for that sacrifice that your family members are making, your friends are making, to provide these things for you. But it is a very different kind of thing. And I think what we've lost a little, a lot of, or maybe never had, depending on who you are, like that connection to nature, because we are not, as either indigenous peoples or, people living in the West in the 19th century, they're killing their own chickens to make for dinner, right? They are basically like, they are taking their own resources of eggs and things that they've grown on their own land and animals that they have raised.
That's dramatic.
And they are then converting them into food, right? And it's a very different thing than doing what I did yesterday, which was to order a 14-pound turkey for pickup on Sunday,
Exactly. Yeah.
Big reminder, by the way. Megan gives you a big reminder, guys. I said this at the top of this half hour. I'll say it again. Start planning it now. Now. This is like the last really good window to actually get a good plan in place. After about Sunday, things start turning into panic or really expensive straight up catering.
And by the way, if you're listening to this on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, and haven't planned yet, you've missed it. It's over, guys.
You missed it.
It's over.
It's done. I mean, you can probably go to the grocery store and find a turkey, but it's not going to defrost it.
You can probably go to the Iron Skillet, though, and they'll take care of you. I would be willing to bet.
There you go.
There are a couple of things here. And they actually tie into what you're talking about, but they tie into the original conception of Thanksgiving. A couple of things that I would encourage people to do. Number one is to remember what the Pilgrims celebrated was already something being celebrated by the Native Americans that welcomed them. The Pilgrims, or however we conceive of the Puritans or the Round Hats or whatever we want to call those folks, people who wear their belt buckles on their hats and their shoes, weirdos. Remember, they are
Bring that back. I'm going to bring that fashion statement back.
Yeah.
We're going to bring it back.
You should, by the way. You should, by the way, because man, oh man, they, like literally, King Charles shows back up, Charles II wearing like long hair and big high-heeled shoes and all kinds of colorful stuff, and they're like, we're out of here. They're just gone pecans. But what's interesting here is that to remember it was a tradition that was given to us. That's a big thing, too. Mm-hmm. The Pilgrims, those first settlers and colonists didn't think this up. And so to remember that you're celebrating something that was a gift to us. Number two, remember that there are a lot of people that Thanksgiving was kind of sort of a thing up until the moment that Joshua Chamberlain and his men at Little Round Top on the second day of Gettysburg stopped the final high water mark of the Confederacy in its tracks. At that moment, the South never is on the offensive again in any sort of serious way, and they're getting slowly pushed back to ending slavery and reunifying the country. And Lincoln declared that Thanksgiving as a day of national deliverance. And there's a lot of people, rather than worry about pilgrims and their incursion into the New World, think about the fact that millions of Americans are free today because of the day that Lincoln declared that great national deliverance. And the final thing is, I would just tell people, if you want to get a little Americana, go grab yourself a Norman Rockwell book and go find his Picture of Thanksgiving, which is like a great reminder of what the ideal look should be with all of its messiness. And in many ways, by going back to the past, because Lindsay did such a great job asking that question, that all we need to do if we want to rediscover that ritual is go back to the past and figure out why that looks so wonderful to some degree. It really is about take a moment to reflect of how we got here, and that will actually make you even more thankful and kind of honor the day. I also love it, Lindsay, because it's secular. I won't lie. I like my religious holidays, no problem. Raised in New Orleans, going to love them religious holidays.
I like my religious holidays like my men, secular.
Secular.
Well, but here's what's really interesting, though. Like, because when you said you wanted to talk about this, and I know that Lindsay was like, you don't have to go do any research, but I was like, no, I want to go check this out.
You told a historian not to do research.
I know,
Good
but
luck, Lindsay.
I said that knowing she would, but maybe she would at least do a little less, was my point.
Fair point. Well said.
So I went and you guys know, and probably many of our listeners know by now, I'm from Colorado. So I love looking up this stuff in the Colorado newspapers. It's a, historic database. It's got all these great digitized newspapers. So I just did kind of a word search for Thanksgiving and, during the 19th century. And what is really interesting is that on Thanksgiving, in Denver, and I think this was fairly widespread, across the West at least, given what I had been reading up on, there were special church services on Thanksgiving.
Huh.
And people went, and then they also had festivals during the day and concerts in the evening, and you would buy tickets for them, and then the money would go to something like the Library Society or the local museum, or it was a kind of philanthropic sort of thing. And that also is something I think that we have lost. Not necessarily the church service part, but that community aspect.
The celebration with our neighbors in the streets kind of thing. Yeah, the give back.
Yeah, exactly. And we're all sort of thinking, oh, okay, like this is like that image that Jimmy was name checking of everyone sitting around a table. It's family, it's the crazy uncle, it's, little kids running around. And it was that, but then it also had this community dynamic. It was almost more like a July 4th celebration, where like you may have your own, party and you grill your own food, but then you go and you watch the fireworks, like with a group, right? Or you go to a parade, or you, do this stuff. I think one of the things that we've kept from that, though, because I read with great interest in Denver, they reported it on Thanksgiving, and they said, and then in the afternoon, a group of young men got together and played some football. And I was like,
we kept that one.
Did they now? Oh, did they now? And so this idea of people gathering to play sports, I mean, in Massachusetts, at least, in New England, there's a tradition that the rival high schools play on Thanksgiving Day.
Dallas Cowboys play every Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And then Dallas Cowboys play every Thanksgiving, and I remember this very vividly from my childhood, that we'd all get together and, have our Chex Mix hors d'oeuvre and then have our Thanksgiving dinner, and then everyone would go into the living room and watch the football game.
Who's the other team?
It didn't matter who was playing.
Doesn't matter.
Right?
Who's the other team that always plays Thanksgiving? It's
the
two
Detroit
teams.
Lions.
The Detroit Lions.
There you go. Nicely done.
See, we know this.
I know you know.
We've actually, Meg and Kate, my family, I'm hosting 25 people at my house for Thanksgiving because I hate myself.
Oh, my God.
And, yeah, I've given up on life. But we've planned.
You'll be dead in a half an hour.
Yeah, I know.
If it's the 27th. If it's the 27th.
I'm coming to you from the other side right now. But we plan everything around the Cowboy game. The Cowboy game's at 3:30, so I already know when prep's happening. I know when we're eating at 2. And my dad will be up from the table at 2:20, being like, move on.
Let's go.
But we plan around. But even like, I think of everything's a Friends reference for me. I think of the Friends reference where they go play touch football or tag football on Thanksgiving Day after they have their meal. But I also think too, like when I was growing up, we would go every night. Like we'd do our Thanksgiving with family. We'd watch football, but then that night, a neighbor or friend had a party every year, a Thanksgiving party that night, and it was one of the best things to look forward to.
Friendsgiving.
Well, it was like because it was for the high school, so it was like the parents were friends, the kids were friends, that kind of thing, and it grew and grew over the years. And even I went to it every year growing up, and then when I met Shane, it like brought him home for it. So then you start seeing new spouses and stuff playing. It was a really cool tradition. So to go back what you're talking about, I think this is a cool thing to bring back because Thanksgiving has become so much about spending it, at home, sort of, and hunkering down with your core family, which is a beautiful thing. However, not everybody has that, and so
Right.
for a lot of people, their community is their family. So I think, and families look so different today anyway, self-included. So I think that this kind of conversation, Megan, like I guess maybe then it goes back to what is the one through line which, by the way, real quick, when you were saying about Denver, like what year is that when you were talking about they would do those festivals? What era?
This was like the 1860s and 70s.
Okay, way back.
That's straight Teddy Roosevelt stuff going on there.
That's like early. That's even when Colorado was just a territory. It wasn't even a state yet.
That's
and they were doing these things. Yeah.
So
Really quick, I want you to ask you a question. We can go as long as we want. I don't care. I make up the rules as I go along. By the way, Marshall has the best Thanksgiving advice of all time. If you want to reduce your Christmas shopping list, be sure to start as many heated conversations about politics over the dinner table. You can go in there with a strategy, Lindsay.
Smart.
I don't want to give Uncle Lou anything for Christmas. Hey, Lou, what do you think about the situation at the border? Discuss. I'm sorry, Lindsay. Go on.
It's a great way to cut down on the people that I'm supposed to host for Thanksgiving. Actually, I'm
exactly.
Start posting some shit this week. I just wanted to bring it back. What is one thing that you were doing? What do you do traditionally for Thanksgiving, Megan Kate? Mm-hmm. And what is something you do that is untraditional? Yeah.
Well, so I mean, the most untraditional thing we do is that we have been hosting for 20 years now, Friendsgiving on Thanksgiving. Because, we were, and this kind of started, for me, this started because I, being from Colorado, and I came out to college here in Boston at Harvard, and my parents couldn't afford to fly me home for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. Mm-hmm. So I didn't go home for Thanksgiving for all 4 of those years. And so I had Thanksgiving dinner with whoever had stayed kind of in the dining hall. And so I kind of got into that tradition. And so Dan and I started hosting. And so we have hosted Friendsgiving like every year for ages. And, we kind of play around with the menu a little bit, but and I want to talk about food in a second because I have a menu to share with you, Lindsay, for your, to get inspired for your own Thanksgiving dinner because it's insane.
Yes, thank you.
But yes, so the what we usually do is that we provide the turkey and the potatoes and the stuffing, and then our friends bring, and we also provide the wine and the cocktails, and then our friends bring everything else.
You do a lot. You do a lot. You're not going to, because I'm the same as you. I'm doing turkey, mashed potatoes, booze. My mom's doing stuffing. And that means what everyone else has to bring a green bean. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I want to hear the rest of the menu.
Okay, we're going to hear the rest of the menu when we come back after this break, by the way. Megan, you're going to stick around. Sorry, you're compelled to. Yeah, she's in. Yeah. You guys can call at 615-292-6366.
That's 615-292-NEMO. The power of Thanksgiving compels you. The power of Thanksgiving compels you.
It is Thanksgiving itself that compels you.
We're talking with Megan Kate Nelson, our favorite historian, our favorite Westerner. The book, The Westerners, comes out in 2026. What is the actual release date again?
It has been moved back a little bit, so you can get it earlier. So March 31st, the last day of the month, 2026.
Ooh, very exciting.
Very auspicious and lovely.
It's very exciting. Obviously, I certainly want to have you on We Should Write when that happens.
Yeah, that's got to be, There will be no discussion of that on Road Gang Radio. We will simply export the whole damn thing that We Should Write. I might even be in like glib, sarcastic, bitter, or anything. You guys need to dig into that in the log. No, you really do. I mean, it really deserves a full hour of discussion, plus the fact that it's like, I know that sometimes writing keeps you very, very sane, especially when you have to do stuff. Mm-hmm. That's a question I have for you in regards to this. I mean, we'll get to the menu stuff as well. But my question is that, how do you find time? I know how I do to keep writing during holiday times when things are so busy and schedules are so out of whack. How do you actually make time and find time to do that writing?
I can't do any like research and writing or work when I've got hosting responsibilities. Like when we go up to Maine, I will do work on, and I have to tell you guys this too, and Lindsay is going to be especially excited about this, I think. I just sold my next book. So I will be starting research for that as I am promoting the Westerners as well. But so we are going up to Maine on Sunday.
What's the next book? What's the next book?
What's the next book?
What's the next book?
Next book.
It's a Civil War Texas book.
Girl, am I in it?
I know. You are not, unless you actually have lived since 1864.
I think I have.
You look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's be honest. I was there. You were there. We were all there. It was weird. It got weird. Punches were thrown. Okay, sorry. Go on. Congratulations. Yes. Go on.
Thank you. Yes. So it's the kind of the narrative superstructure will be the story of a Kiowa Comanche raid on a ranch community on the Brazos River in Young County, which is kind of north central Texas, like right on the border of West Texas.
I used to tube the Brazos River. It was hard days. It was hard days for me.
Oh, yes. So in 1864, the Kiowa Comanche saw this great opportunity because West Texas was also Comancheria at that time. And so they were like, okay, there are no more federal troops in Texas. And all of the kind of white guys here are away, fighting in the war in other regions. So they raided constantly in Texas. And so there's this raid in 1864 where they raid this ranch and they took 12 captives who were both white and black. And so the story of this raid and how they took these captives, and then the husband of one of the captive women who was black tracked them for a year and ultimately caught up with them in Indian Territory at a council and negotiated for their release.
Wow.
And then came back with most of them to Texas.
And that character,
so that's, yeah.
I was going to say that character is the basis for Danny Glover in Silverado. I'm just saying.
Oh, interesting.
He actually is. He actually is. I'm not being a jerk. I'm not.
Johnson?
Yeah, he actually is. He's one of the things that was kind of Kasdan, who wrote and directed the first Western of the month that we ever talked about, Megan Kate Nelson and I, Silverado. That character is based partially off of him. It is based partially off of him because Kasdan, like Costner, is a Western obsessive, mixing both movies and history into one thing. It's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's a really cool.
Yeah,
story.
so it's a great, and then it'll be there will be chapters on Civil War Texas and about why Texas was it's a weird state for the Confederacy, right? And so Sam Houston will be in it because he, basically gets thrown out of the governorship because he does not vote to secede. He's a Unionist. And, lots of interesting characters when the Kiowa Comanche are on their way back to their territory with these captives. They fight Kit Carson at the first Battle of Adobe Walls. So Kit Carson will come back into the picture. So it is a story of sort of why Texas was in the Confederacy in the first place, but then why it became a kind of problematic place because it's such an interesting place of great diversity. Again, it actually has 4 different communities: Anglos, Hispanos, enslaved black people, and some free black people, and then indigenous people. So it's a fascinating place. So it's totally a piece with most of my work, which is about kind of all of these conflicts and engagements between different communities in the West. But I'm going back to the Civil War.
You're going back. Going back to Texas. Trying to get back to Texas. I have a song for you. I have a couple. I will write the soundtrack for your book.
The playlist.
Yes. Okay, that's happening. Okay, 2 things, Megan. Okay. We want to. Somebody is on. Pack Rat's waiting in the line and wants to talk to you. But first, you've got. I want to hear about the menu. We got to talk about dessert, and then you have a Denver proclamation of sorts to read to us here.
Yes. So this, when I was kind of looking around to see what people were doing and the kind of food they were eating in Colorado during the 19th century for Thanksgiving, I found this Thanksgiving dinner bill of fare. So the hotels are making money by serving Thanksgiving dinner. And this was in Salida, Colorado. So not Denver, but okay. So first there was a soup course, and the soup was oysters and tomatoes.
Okay.
Imagine. Then,
wait, I don't understand. Does it explain what that? I am so confused.
No.
Also, where were they getting the
oysters and
oysters?
tomatoes.
Where were they getting the oysters in Colorado?
They were canned oysters.
Ew.
Canned oysters were a huge deal in the West. There were like oyster bars. I know.
Here's the irony. While many things back in the past are much more gross than things in the present, much less gross, Lindsay.
Well, yeah, they're less. They literally probably just put an oyster in a can.
Yeah, right? I mean, genuine canning, good old-fashioned canning,
canning.
the kind that tastes like $1 million, the kind of thing like, if we kept doing that, we'd all be much more healthy. I don't think most things in the past make us more healthy. I do think the way we used to can stuff actually was terrific.
Were they Roma tomatoes or cherry tomatoes? I think back then they were just tomatoes, right?
Yeah, I think they were just tomatoes. But but I mean, I think you can sort of see a little bit of this, right, in oyster stuffing, which was not part of my tradition, but is in other regions.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's meats. Roasted turkey with cranberry sauce. So they were having that.
Ocean spray out of the can?
Chicken.
Ocean spray out of the can?
Right.
Or yeah?
Yeah, the tube.
Yeah.
I don't know how they made it. Roast beef, roast pork, and then something called baked heart with dressing.
Huh.
I don't know if that's an actual like heart of.
Is it
I mean,
HART?
it's under the meat section. Yeah, HEART.
Let's see what that
Maybe
is.
it's an
So it's
artichoke
under the meat
heart.
section.
It refers
in the meat
to
section,
it
sorry.
refers to a dish
in the
made
meat
from.
section.
It refers to a dish made from the
it's organ-
animal hearts.
Yeah.
Most commonly beef, pork, or elk that are cooked in an oven.
Ooh,
Preparation usually involves slow cooking, like braising or roasting, to tenderize the muscle meat of the heart, often after being stuffed with various ingredients. Pass.
Yep.
Okay.
You know how big an elk heart
okay.
is? Do you know how big an elk heart is?
I know. It must be huge.
They named the whole
So
city
kind.
after it. Elkhart.
I know.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So kind. Okay, go
So
on.
here are the vegetables. Okay, mashed potatoes.
Ovs.
And then I couldn't tell if this was a typo or not. It says cold slaw.
Must be it.
So I don't know. I don't know if it was originally called cold slaw, but then everyone just sort of converted it into coleslaw.
Yeah, because the southern drawl was like coleslaw. And maybe it
Exactly, cold slaw.
Coleslaw.
Yeah. Corn, tomatoes, turnips, peas, squash, and string beans.
just. Okay.
All right, so that's pretty. Okay, then we have a series of desserts, Lindsay.
Let's go.
Indian pudding with brandy sauce. So that's just kind of like a bread pudding, like a British bread pudding.
With brandy.
Coconut
I like it.
pudding. Yeah, coconut pudding with lemon sauce.
Okay.
And they may be actually thinking
like
of
you're
pudding
talking-
like the British do, but there's also a second thing for cake, which I'll get to in a minute. And then silver pudding with rum sauce. And I think that means that's where they hid the silver coins, where you would find them and it would all be fun. Or you'd swallow them and it would be a problem. Then there were pies, coconut, mince, raspberry, custard, and apple. Then also cakes, Lindsay. Pound cake, marble cake, gold cake, jelly cake, fruit cake, and tarts. Then fruits, apples, pears, and grapes. Then tea, coffee, and chocolate. And then under extras it says wines of all kinds.
Fancy. Sounds like a good year. I feel like you're talking dirty to us right now. First of all, when you were like,
I know.
the
I knew
pie,
it was coming. I knew it was
pie
coming.
with the
I'm like,
lemon sauce. You could be like
cake,
it could be like
cake.
You also sound like Then There Were Pies. It sounds like another like a Martin Scorsese movie. Then There Will Be Pies.
That's right.
Coconut pudding with
but-
lemon sauce. That sounds like the best thing in those desserts. Coconut pudding with lemon
Right?
sauce just sounds outstanding.
Right?
Do you guys know actually the story of how the turkey pardon comes into existence?
No, but I have a feeling you do.
I do actually. I do. It actually starts in 1863. It's Lincoln's son Tad bonds with the turkey that they're going to eat for Christmas. So over Thanksgiving, Lincoln's like, I pardon the turkey. He actually had
classic Tad Lincoln.
Tad Lincoln, man, classic Tad. But it's the
Classic.
absolute truth. Is that the fact is that it actually began. It was the Christmas turkey because the Thanksgiving turkey already got the business. But Tad was like, Tad saw them bring out the actual Thanksgiving turkey, and he knew the turkey he bonded with, which was, by the way, called Tad 2.
Tad Jr.
Little known fact.
TJ.
Oh no.
So basically, Tad sees him bring out the Thanksgiving turkey, and he's like, "Wait, you're going to do that to Tad too?" I don't know if that's the exact dialogue, but I have a feeling it was.
That's close.
And then Lincoln said, "You know what? I have the presidential pardon power. You are pardoned," and he pardoned the turkey.
That's hilarious.
And that's, by the way, guys.
That's all the president should be allowed to do. In my humble opinion, that is all the president should be allowed to do from here on out.
Wouldn't that be
We've proven
awesome?
that we don't know what to do with the power. All you can do is save a turkey's life.
Can you imagine that?
In
A
the
national
arms
election?
of an angel.
A national election to pick a turkey partner. Oh, they do that anyway.
Oh my
I
God.
like it.
Yeah.
They do it twice.
Yeah.
They do it once. Actually, they do it
Yeah.
4 times for Thanksgiving, and then once at the end of all of their terms to let all their friends off.
And then they
There
get
you
to
go.
pick one of their friends
Exactly.
that is the turkey. One of their friends, too. And you get to pardon him, too.
If it was only one. If it was only one. If it
Okay,
was-
Megan, so real quick, what desserts are you having at your house? And then we're going to go to Pack Rat's call.
Okay, so one of my friends is the pie baker. So he's making apple and pumpkin.
He's
And
the
then-
pie baker? You're
like a
friends
ba-
with the pie baker?
It sounds like a Batman
the-
villain, doesn't it? The pie maker.
Pie baker. He loves it. He makes these beautiful pies. And then, okay, and here's a sad truth, you guys. I despise pumpkin pie.
Same.
That's okay.
I'm with you.
I know.
I'm with you.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love pumpkin pie, but I completely
Gross.
understand its texture and its taste. And
Yeah.
it's a complete. I get it.
Oh.
I
Dude,
get
I'm
it.
with you.
All of it.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
All of it. So when I was, I've hated it since the beginning of my life. And so
Same.
my Auntie Boo, my great aunt, used to make me. She was a great baker, and so
Hey,
on
Boo.
Thanksgiving she would make us eggnog pie,
Okay.
which was amazing. So like graham cracker crust, thin layer dark chocolate, and then eggnog pudding,
What?
which is amazing.
Megan,
Dusted with cocoa.
Lindsay,
What?
I have to
It's
say,
so good.
Megan is so smart that she figured out a way of telling us and our listeners that she's a communist without ever having to say it.
And maybe an alcoholic. Maybe also an alcoholic.
Well, all communists are alcoholic, man. Once the system shuts
I
down,
mean-
all you have left is potato vodka. That's the end of it right there.
What's up, Dre?
America.
Megan, you know what I saw my niece do the other day?
What?
Take a piece of pumpkin pie, and spread it on a piece of bread and eat it. I'm like,
Ew.
who raised you? Who hurt you?
Ooh.
I'm gonna try it.
I cannot condone that.
If
I
it's-
cannot condone
It was
that.
sourdough
No.
too, so
Let
I
me-
was like, maybe.
No, sourdough, no. Brioche bread.
No.
I could see brioche bread. I could see a sweet brioche.
At least you
I've
didn't
ordered, guys. I've ordered. By the way, Barbara's Country Cooking up the road from us. I'm not a baker. I'm not the baker like
Yeah.
your friend by any means. But
Oh,
I've ordered.
The pie baker, Lindsay.
The pie baker.
The pie baker.
I've ordered a fudge pie, and
Take
then
it
a
easy.
peach, and a blackberry cobbler. That's what we will be having.
Cobbler. That
man.
cobbler is the
Yum.
truth.
Who's the soul singer that's got pies? Patti LaBelle.
Who
She's
cares,
got thighs,
man?
thighs and pies.
Dude,
Hey,
her
girl.
sweet potato pie. Woo!
I don't understand sweet potato pie either.
I-
Okay,
I don't either.
Pack Rat. We got to get to Pack Rat.
Yeah.
We got to do it, man. Get Pack Rat in here. He's part of the conversation. What's happening, Pack Rat? What's going on?
we're all over the place today, so thanks for hanging with us, Pack Rat.
Good morning. Hey, Miss Megan, thank you. I just want to thank you for your being part of the Dave Nemo and Radio Nemo program. Thank you for your contributions and being with us.
Oh, you're so welcome. It is one of my favorite sort of traditions of the month to get on the phone with these guys. They're such fun.
See, Megan Kate, we told you we have one listener. We told you you're talking to that. There he is.
I'm
He is.
This show has reach. This show has reach to exactly one person.
Nailed it. There he is.
I'm just making up the commentaries really quickly. By the way, Roscoe says blueberry pie is a must at Thanksgiving.
My husband agrees.
And Marshall says he loves a little Jeff Davis pie. And
What?
Roscoe also says,
What is Jeff Davis pie?
I have no idea. I actually haven't. Take
Is
it
it
easy.
like chess pie?
I think it is. I think
It's
that's
got to
what
be
it
a
is.
joke.
If you've never tried pumpkin kringle from Trader Joe's,
Oh,
it
no,
will
it's not.
change your mind.
Life. About pumpkin.
I don't know about
Jeff
that.
Davis pie. It's a rich Southern style custard or chess pie. It's made with ingredients like
okay.
yeah. There we have it.
I am correct.
I don't know
Very
if you.
nice.
If
Well,
you,
my pie baker is making me a chocolate pie.
Pie
and
baker.
his wife also, because she does not like pumpkin.
By the way, before we get back to Pack Rat here, I also want to point out that Pie Baker would be a really good James Bond villain because you could actually get somebody to sing a song like that. Lindsay, would you just give us a little Pie Baker? Something like that.
Pie baker pie.
James Bond is coming to Thanksgiving.
He's the pie.
Oh.
Pie
Yes, please.
baker.
You know, I do think though.
Baker. Pie baker. He's the pie. He's the pie. Sorry.
Suddenly it turned into a Shaft, turned into a blaxploitation
I know,
film.
sorry,
I'm
get
proud
rid
of
of
you,
this.
though. I'm proud of you. Hey, Pack Rat, you called for a reason, man. I really appreciate the shout out to Meg and Kate, but if that's the only
Yeah,
reason, that's
so
righteous,
nice.
dude. What's going on, man?
Well, I just want to let you know that, Jimmy Mac, we've talked about this before, and me being a Canadian and a truck driver that travels in the U.S., your Thanksgiving is a real pain in the tush to us because I
sorry.
end up losing maybe a couple of days work in the week, and we have a reduced paycheck, and we don't get paid for it.
By the way, Pack Rat, if you think Thanksgiving is a pain in the ass, wait till you read up on the War of 1812. Just saying. Just putting that out there. I'm
Yeah, sorry that got in the way of your life, Pack Rat.
There's a butt coming here. There's a great butt coming here. Let us
Sounds
hear
like
the
a
butt.
personal problem. Sounds like a personal problem, Pack Rat. I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
Oh, I forgot where I was going with this.
Same. That's do you know what? That's the motto of our radio show.
I forgot.
Welcome back to Road Gang Radio. I forgot where I was going with this. That's the whole thing around here.
Pack Rat, you've actually captured the energy and the flair and the spirit. We're going to use your and we're going to say that too. I forgot where I was going with this, Pack Rat, and that'll be on the website.
Okay.
All right. So think hard though. Can you bring it back up because you said Thanksgiving's a pain in the butt. You get a reduced pay week. A lot of stuff going on. Was there a however or a but or something fun in there or just you guys suck? Because either way, I'm entertained.
Well, this year's not going to bother me because I'm just traveling in Canada. So, but I do remember my traveling. Like it's a big deal. Like the increased traffic, and it's one of the most traveled times of the year, isn't it? The U.S. Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's going to be a record this year again. It's the second largest traveled holiday in the United States after the Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day is the monster, but this one is a really, really close second. And I think this one has more people driving to airports than Memorial Day does. Memorial Day has the most.
Maybe not this year though. I bet more people are going to try to stay to the cars and the highways and the byways rather than flying.
Why
this year.
is there any issues with airplanes?
I don't
these
know.
days?
I live in the woods and I don't look at I have no idea what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
I like what you stand for, though. Out there hollering at the moon. Pack Rat, do you do anything for Thanksgiving or just stay away from America? By the way, once again, no wrong response.
Well, we hardly ever. Right now we hardly ever. We wouldn't even notice that you're having a Thanksgiving. But we have our Thanksgiving in October, and we have it on a Monday, which makes more sense. But that's just me.
Actually, if you think about a consumer culture like America, I got an idea, Bob. Let's have it on a Thursday. That way people take a long weekend. That way we can jumpstart the Christmas shopping tradition. Did you know that Franklin Roosevelt tried to move Thanksgiving a week earlier to get the recession kind of jump-started and get out of it?
yeah, also Black Friday started today and it's Thursday. I don't know what
Yeah,
is
that's not
happening.
right.
And by the way,
That's not
Black
right.
Friday does not mean going into the black. That's a lie. That's a lie created by corporate America. It's about the black ice and the black
About your
snow.
black soul.
You're damn right it is. And all the who's down in Whoville, they say that my old heart grew 3 sizes that day. And I gained the strength of 10 Pack Rats plus 2, and he's already strong. He's He's like trucker strong, dude. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that. He's actually working out again on the job. Pack Rat, we got to let you go. We got to let everybody go. We hate it.
Okay, guys, all the best.
All the best.
Oh, thank you, and thanks for listening and calling in.
By the
Thanks,
way,
Pack Rat.
good dude. Good phone call up there with Chowder and our friend Marshall, guys who know how to come in, say their piece, and then get gone and get back to my black heart on Black Friday. Lindsay, are you going to go shopping on the real Black Friday?
Of course not. That sounds like a nightmare. Are you kidding me? No, but I'll probably will be using the Amazon door at my house that week quite a bit. Yeah. I have to admit.
I feel like this is the Black Friday creep, sort of like you were talking about, Lindsay, with people celebrating their birthday for a whole week. Like,
yeah,
Black Friday has become like 2 weeks.
But
Crazy.
you know, I have a very, very vivid memory of my Uncle Harvey, who was coming to spend Thanksgiving. He's one of the 25 that will be at my house for Thanksgiving. When we were young and we would go stay, would have Thanksgiving at my grandmother's house, and the cousins would go there. And such fun memories. We would make forts under cardboard tables, and all the cousins would sleep together. Then we'd sleep on that floor. But Uncle Harvey, and one holiday I remember we were in a hotel, he would wake up at like 4 a.m. Is that Thanksgiving morning? Yeah, it used to be Thanksgiving morning, right?
Right.
Yeah. He would go Thanksgiving morning. His kids would have to have their list to him prior to that. If you didn't tell him what you wanted for Christmas by Thanksgiving, you got nothing. And he would step over us in sleeping bags at 4 a.m. to be standing outside by 4:30 a.m. of the mall or whatever stores. He had his list. He knocked it out. He was done with all of his Christmas shopping by 10 a.m. on a Thursday, and they got home and that was it. Nothing else for Christmas was bought after that.
I hope you know that if I ever see your Uncle Harvey, I'm going to punch him in the snot locker.
Why?
It just sounds hateful, dude. That just sounds hateful.
Here's my question, though, is why is the shopping mall open on Thanksgiving?
Not anymore. But that's why Lindsay was making that really good point. That's the kind of nonsense that put an end to it. Because a lot of
it's how people started punching each other over Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you this.
I thought that was all on Friday, though. No.
No, it actually it's
maybe it was Friday, but maybe it was the day after Thanksgiving. Then
some of it spilled into Thanksgiving Day. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Some of it got really, really dark and sinister. But by the way, it's one of those few moments that Americans, just like the UPS strike, decided, you know what? We don't like the idea of people having to go in either in the morning on Thanksgiving or the afternoon on Thanksgiving. Everybody kind of gets people working at a grocery store on Thanksgiving. That's okay. And a lot of grocery stores are set up to have people on what they call shorter shifts to kind of come in.
They usually close like at noon. If you forgot something, you can get in the morning, but then let them go and they can have a Thanksgiving dinner still.
Yeah.
But this sort of mandatory sort of everybody's got to be here, full battle stations. Here comes the fuzz. Here comes the lady who won.
Here comes the fuzz.
We want the fuzz. Here comes the pump. We want the Meg.
Meg and Kate, we love you so much. We've done an hour with you, which is such a beautiful thing. Thank you for staying, even though you had no choice. And I'm excited to introduce you at some point to our next guest, Anthony Nally, who is with the RVers, who y'all would be an interesting conversation. That his show, The RVers on the Discovery Channel, we're going to dive in. We're going to hopefully be doing some cross promo with him. But it would be cool. He and his wife make their life off of traveling in this whole community they built in the RV world. Talking about, the connection of RVs and the covered wagon. A lot of synergy there that we can discuss.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, and that's a major theme in the Westerners is kind of one of the things that distinguishes the region is people are always moving. Always moving back and forth across big distances.
Just saying, Jim.
By the way, you just actually described everybody out there listening right now. And Trucker Boaston says, don't forget Cyber Monday, either another corporate cash grab creation. How about we have Proletariat Wednesday, where everybody shackles off their chains and confirms Megan's communist state of mind and overthrows their oppressors and goes out on the street declaiming themselves as, well, you get it, power to the people, all that kind of stuff. The Westerners is coming out soon. What's the website again, Megan? Where can we find you?
At MeganKateNelson.com, and it's a new website.
Ooh, how did you come up with that?
Retool.
How'd you come up with that domain name?
It's unbelievable.
I know, it's shocking, isn't it? And it wasn't taken.
which is
Take it.
amazing.
Which is amazing, by the way, because I got to tell you, the vice president of Douchebagistan is out there someplace doing his thing, being like, I'm going to take her name and make her pay like $25,000 for it, and then act like I did something important. I slipped
met
in
that
a little.
guy.
Yeah,
I
we
met that guy.
know
He
that
used to
guy.
work with us.
Personal friend of guy. Personal friend.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we're just kind of airing the grievances now. It's not Festivus yet.
I
It's
know.
Megan Kate Nelson time, even better than PBJ time. Love you, Megan.